Over the past few weeks, we've gotten a look at fake ads placed on Facebook by Russian propagandists during the 2016 election campaign. Now, those ads were the subject of a high-profile congressional hearing with executives from Facebook and Twitter and Google. Facebook executives estimate more than 150 million Americans, or more than a third of the population, saw content from fake accounts traced to a Kremlin-backed troll farm. There is an important story behind that hearing. A small group of about a dozen self-made experts advised Congress on the disinformation campaigns and helped prepare them to question the social media giants. Renee DiResta is a tech entrepreneur. She works with an online volunteer community called Data for Democracy, and she's in San Francisco today. It's so nice to talk to you, Renee. Thanks for being with us. So one of your jobs is to literally look at fake news stories and watch in real time how it spreads or doesn't spread. What can you tell us from just literally sitting there watching that?
So it's really fascinating to watch it happen. You know, we know that journalists actively monitor Twitter for breaking stories, and so this is one way that you can get your little blog post kind of into the prime time by attracting a kind of critical mass of attention. We call it manufactured consensus.
Give me a good example of manufactured consensus that you've seen that we would all know.
Well, right now there's a hotly contested election in Alabama, and I think most people are probably familiar with the accusations against Roy Moore, who's the Republican candidate there right now. The social media conversation around that has been absolutely fascinating. Over the weekend, there was a troll, we'll say, not exactly a bot account, called Umpire43 was its handle. And it started to tweet about how it had inside knowledge that someone had paid Roy Moore's accusers in the Washington Post. And this was immediately picked up, I believe, by the Gateway Pundit and by InfoWars, and then by a number of accounts that began to tweet about this online and to really amplify this message. And so this was, you know, we used to call them hoaxes, but it's really a lot more malicious than a hoax at this point. It's really trying to fundamentally transform the outcome of an election. But this is the sort of thing where one would expect the tech company at this point, Twitter, to step in and just have a look and see if it's part of a broader campaign.
Let me ask you a question. Whose responsibility is it, do you believe? Is it Twitter's, Google's, Facebook's responsibility to monitor, to police, is that the right word, to fix this? Clearly, it's their algorithms that are allowing this problem, and we don't live in a perfect world where disinformation campaigns don't exist.
But I think the platforms bear some degree of responsibility here, and that's because there's an assumption of trust on a platform like Facebook in particular. People have much less of an expectation of trust on Twitter. That's sort of the Wild West. But
even the people who love Twitter hate Twitter. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, and me too.
But on Facebook, people really believe that they're engaging with genuine people. That they really believe that, you know, Facebook has made this part of its own brand. You know, this is a place where people have to use their true names, and there's a real, you know, betrayal of their users there when people find out that what they've been engaging with this whole time are pages run by a front. It's not an easy fix, but it's something that I think we're starting to see incredible energy galvanizing in Silicon Valley among folks like me who work in tech and believe that you know, the issue now is not to punish the tech platforms; it's to think forward and to build a more robust, you know, defensible system where this is not as easy or as inexpensive as cheap to do, because we have 2018 and 2020 coming up in our own country, and then even beyond elections, this is something that we really just have to rein in.
It's a human problem. Renee DiResta, nice to have you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet.